I really want to get this off my chest. I know people tell you to enjoy your life, and I know it is way easier said than done, but here I am telling you to enjoy your life because I did not. I did not enjoy my life for so long. And am I perfect at enjoying it now? No. There's no perfect marker of it, but I know I'm not batting 100 at enjoying my life. But you need to enjoy it now because everything is temporary. Everything is temporary. Everything good is temporary. Everything bad is temporary. And I can't help but think back to all my life. I can't help but think back to all these past experiences where it could have been a really good thing. It could have been a really great thing. And instead I was just scared and anxious, and I stayed in bad situations because the devil you know is the devil you know. Okay, the people are so much more comfortable sticking to what they know, even if it's not serving them, even if it's hurting them, because it's predictable. It's just human psychology. We want to know what is going to happen because that in itself is safe. Even if it's a crappy situation, we know it's going to happen. We know how we're going to feel. We know how we're going to soothe ourselves. Like it's predictable. It is a lot scarier to do something or to start something or to feel something that you haven't felt before, you haven't done before. Of course, it's new. We don't know the pattern. We don't know it yet because we haven't done it. Duh. And I was so sad in middle school, in high school, in a lot of college even. And is that all my fault? No. I didn't have a great family life growing up. I didn't have a great support system. I didn't have great influences. Is it all everybody else's fault? Absolutely not. Okay. Who am I to blame my circumstances? It's an explanation. I get it. I get why it wasn't easy for me to be happy. But now that I have the knowledge and I have the resources and I'm a grown woman, I'm a grown 24-year-old woman, I have every right, I have every option to enjoy my life and to be happy. And if I'm not enjoying my life, it's probably on me. And the same goes for you. If you're not enjoying your life and you are a grown person or you are, a very conscientious individual, no matter what age you are, it's on you. It is on you because enjoying your life is a choice. It is a choice. And sometimes for some people, in certain circumstances, that choice is easier to make than other times or in other circumstances or than other people. But it is a choice at the end of the day. You have to choose to feel good. You have to enjoy what is happening right here, right now. God, when I was a kid, it would be Christmas and I'd be focused on the 4th of July. Like I was always waiting for the next good feeling, the next predictable occasion, the next outcome. Like I could never be where I was. And, to speak a little bit on that, I think that was me just being like hyper surveillant and trying to protect myself and my emotions and know what was coming because I grew up in a very unpredictable environment. And maybe you can relate to that. But God, at the end of the day, you kind of have to realize the patterns that you've brought from childhood and from adolescence. And you really have to be self-aware enough and think to yourself or talk it out with a therapist or whatever. You have to think, is this what I want for myself? Is this how I want my life to look? Is this what I want my patterns to be? At the end of the day, it may not be your doing that you think a certain way, that you feel a certain way, but it is in your control to decide if you want to continue to live this way. It is not necessarily by my nature to be happy and to be chill and to go with the flow and to just be very present. That's not how I was raised. And, obviously a lot of how we enter adulthood has to do with how we were raised. But I have the tools, I have the self-awareness to go, I don't like that. I want my life to feel easier. I want to enjoy these moments. I don't want to live for the weekend. I don't want to look back months ago. I don't want it to be years from now and go, oh my God, why was I so upset at 24? Because I look back at 17, 19, 21, and I go, oh my God, things were not perfect by any means, but it was so good. It was so good. And nothing that I was necessarily worried about happened. And if it did happen, it was for a good reason, and good things came out of it. And it was just how my life was supposed to go. And any crappy thing that happened to me or around me, I got through. The challenge, the hardship, and the newness made me a more resilient, a better person, a more dynamic person. And you don't want to be like soft going into adulthood, because life is tough. Life will throw some curveballs at you. And so it's good to be resilient, but it's also really good to be happy. And that is something that I have had to learn, and that's something that I'm still learning. It is an active process. I am learning what I can enjoy that is not just vegging on my phone or eating food. Oh my gosh, that's been such a hard one. I went from 200 pounds to like 120 pounds. Obviously, food was a big source of joy for me. And now we're working on that, more on that later, honestly. But I'm just giving an example that you need to enjoy where you are at. You need to take a moment, take multiple moments, and just go, oh my God, this thing in my day is good. This bus commute, it's a moment of peace. It's a moment for me to look out the window and be with myself. This me having to schlep my brother to school, what an inconvenience, but that's time that I'm never going to get back with him. Back when we were 17 and he was 14, I was driving us to school. Obviously, I didn't resent it in the moment. I wasn't like, what a drag, I got to take this kid to school. But I think, I was so caught up. I'm just giving you a very specific example. I was so caught up in like making sure he got to his thing on time and this and that. And I was so like swept up in the chaos of it all, the self-made chaos, that I didn't just take a beat, take a breath and go, oh my God, this is a moment. This is a moment in my life. This is like something that I'm going to look back on and be like, oh, that was nice. Like, I know it's so hard to zoom out. It's a practice. I'm going to keep saying it. It's a practice. But you need to, have a little moment of self-awareness and be like, am I going to zoom out? And am I going to look back fondly on this? And if you can, even imagine that in whatever circumstance you're in, just settle into it a little more, sink into it a little more. You need to enjoy where you are at. And sometimes that is acknowledging that you're annoyed about something that's currently going on in your life. You're anxious about it. You're swept up in the craziness of it all. And you just need to choose a different feeling, even if it feels like you're kind of faking it, kind of lying to yourself. You need to start to rewire your brain, okay? Our brains are very malleable. If you're 80 years old, I don't know how much I can help you with that malleability. I think you got a chance, but I don't know how good of a chance that is. But you need to retrain your brain. I've gotten better at it. I really have. I think the people you surround yourself will also impact that. Your environment will also impact that. You can't, you can't change the people around you, and being around negativity and chaos and anxiety is really tough. You can't block it out completely. You can try, but you can't block it out completely. So you do need to take a look at the people that you're surrounding yourself with, and where you're living, and what your job is, and who your friends are, and how close you are with your family. Like, those are all really important factors to consider when it comes to enjoying where you're at in life. And maybe you can't get away from those maybe potentially negative aspects of your life. And so all you got is what's inside your noggin. All you got is the decisions you're going to make on how much you're really going to listen and let it weigh on you. Because at the end of the day, it's not all your choice, but there's a good portion of what you can kind of train your brain with, and what you can kind of soak in as far as energy and words and what you're investing your time into. It's practice. You got to work at it. Some days are going to be easier than others. And the more you practice enjoying your life, the easier it'll be. The more you will identify with being someone who enjoys their life. God, I used to identify as someone who was depressed and anxious. And did I have tendencies? Yes, but I totally did not need to identify as somebody who was those things. I think that whatever you choose to believe, that is the reality. That is your reality. If you are choosing to believe that something is really crappy and there's no good in it and that is how it will be. If you are choosing to believe that something is hard, it will be hard. If you are choosing to believe that something is easy, that there are easy moments, that there are joyful moments, that is what you will get. The mind is so powerful. The mind is so powerful. And you need to use that power for good. Okay? If you don't want that, I can't help you. Nobody can help you. You need to want it for yourself. There are some people who revel in the negativity, in the anxiety. And partially, I think that's because the devil you know is the devil you know. There is comfort in the predictability of those negative feelings. But then there's also, another level, another layer of people who just, they really like the negativity because it does send chemicals to your brain to self-soothe, right? When you're thinking negative or being negative or this or that, it's like a little drug. It's like a little high to be in that bad mental space. And those people, they don't want to get better. They don't want to enjoy life. There's people who enjoy not enjoying life, and that is hard on them, whether they choose to acknowledge it or can acknowledge it or whatever. And it's also hard on the people around them. It's uncomfortable. It's icky. It weighs on you. You can kind of almost feel the weight of their negativity like around you, and you don't want to be around it. Nobody wants to be around somebody who's so negative all the time. And that is, something I've had to take into consideration because I've been negative. I've been a negative girl. I've been an anxious girl. And, changing jobs has helped. Changing friends has helped. Oh my God, changing partners has helped a ton. A ton. I used to think I was just this anxious little basket case who was never happy. Turns out I was with the wrong man. Wrong men? There were multiple. Wasn't at the same time, but there were multiple where I just shouldn't have been with those people. But even when I knew I should not have been with those people, I was like, no, I know this. This is comfortable. This is blah, blah, blah. Because side note, separate thing in itself, but it is so much easier to be with people that you know are wrong for you, but you know their patterns, you know what it feels like to come home to them, you know how you're gonna end the fights and make up. It's comforting. It's so comforting to have a routine, to have a pattern. How healthy it is another conversation. So I would say, choose a healthy pattern, choose a healthy belief system, a healthy habit of your thinking to have when it comes to those people, those situations. But yeah, man, you got to enjoy your life. You got to enjoy your life. And it's so cheesy to be like, life is short, you gotta this or that. But it's like, God, like I look back and I'm like, oh my God, like high school could have been so fun. I could have had so much fun in high school. But there I was just so anxious, so focused on the wrong things, the wrong people. I was just no fun. I mean, I'm sure to some other people I was fun. I'm a fun girl. But to myself, I was just making myself sick over my life. Like I gained so much weight in high school because I was so unhappy with my life. And like I said, food was the only thing I really enjoyed doing. I didn't enjoy other things in my life. And that makes me so sad. That makes me so sad. And I get I didn't have the information that I have now. But I'm giving you some of that information, so go freaking use it. God, I could have had fun in college. I could have had more fun in college, even though it was like COVID and all that stuff. But I was so focused on the wrong people, being with people that didn't make me feel good. But I was so addicted to the cycle of knowing the outcome and knowing there'd be resolution and just the familiarity of the pain and the suffering. And that's so sick. It's so unwell. And definitely wasn't good for my immune system. Talk about getting sick all the time. Holy cow. But I think this is kind of the first time in my life I'm actually taking action and enjoying life. I'm doing so much better and enjoying the little moments. And God, like I said, it is a practice. Every day I have to wake up and I have to make the choice. Am I going to be pissed about XYZ? Am I going to be teary-eyed and anxious about XYZ? Or am I going to be like zoomed out and know it's not a big deal? It's not a big deal. Oh my gosh, there were things last year that I was so worked up about. So worked up. You wouldn't even recognize me in comparison to, how I'm talking right now. And I look back and I go, what was I so worried for? None of this stuff happened. Or, none of it was as bad as I thought it was going to be, because, it's never as bad as you think it's going to be. The mind is such a storyteller, and it wants you to think of the worst possible case scenario so you can prepare, you can get ready for battle. It rarely is ever as bad as you think it's going to be. Okay? You need to build that credibility with yourself. You need to build the credibility of saying, hey, I've gone through XYZ before. I've gotten through it just fine. I'm going to get through this. I'm going to get through this next day. You got to choose to feel good. There are some mornings I wake up and I'm pissed that I'm waking up so early. I'm mad that I'm waking up so early. I'm like, why am I going to go serve others before I serve myself? Because my job is service. And then I have to remind myself, because, it's easy to slip into negativity. It really is. For some people, I would say most people, it's easy to slip into negativity. But I have to remind myself, I have to catch myself. I have to go, this is what you wanted. This is the life you dreamed of. You dreamed of being so busy with your clients, with your business. This is what you wanted. And it is still what I want. It's what I dreamed of. And we get so far away once we've actually achieved our dreams. We get caught up in the inconveniences. And I'm like, girl, if you want 30 extra minutes with yourself in the morning, I'm talking to me, take it. Take those, wake up early. Wake up early. Set yourself up for success to enjoy your life. And it's been a minute now that I've been putting that in place, waking up early, having a routine, grounding myself, getting set up. For example, I like to do stretching on my little mat, and I put my grounding mat on top of my yoga mat, and I put on my red light panel so I can, habit stack the crap out of my life. I put in my earbuds. I listen to some Gabby Bernstein affirmations, because that woman has saved my sanity more times than I could tell you. And I just go to town. I do some stretching. I do some mobility. Sometimes it is literally 5 minutes. I've got 5 minutes. Sometimes it is 20 minutes. I want to be more consistent with it, because it makes me feel so freaking good in the morning. It sets me up to be like, okay, I've been with myself. I've taken care of myself. I can go and I can serve others for a while now. I am so blessed to be in the position I am. And I need to watch this video back, because I feel so inspiring right now, and I feel so inspired and blessed and grateful, because are there things in life that I have not yet achieved and I want them so badly? Yeah, I want to get married. I want to have a beautiful wedding. I want my business to blow up like nobody's business. I want my dream house. I want to be famous. I'd like to be a famous little actress, because I'm good. I'm really good. And you know what? All those things can happen. They probably will happen. It's just the unknown is scary. It is scary. It's always going to be scary. But you have to choose to get excited about it. You have to choose to be grateful for where you're currently at and what you currently have. Because when you're in a place of gratitude, there really isn't a mental vibration for much worry or anxiety or anything. Like try it. Be so grateful. Be so genuinely grateful for a couple things in your life. Sit in that energy, and you will notice you don't feel anxious. You don't feel mad or pissed or jealous, anything, because you're like, wow, it ain't so bad. It ain't so bad. Okay. And maybe you can't jump from being in a negative place immediately to being like, I live the best life ever. I'm so grateful. Life is so good. But maybe you can bump up a notch. Okay. You go from being negative to being like, well, it ain't bad. I got food on the table. I got a roof over my head. I got people to say I love you back to me. And then you climb from there. It's a process. Some days are easier than others. Okay. Whatever. But I think you got to try. You got to try. Nobody is going to come and scoop you up and make your life better unless you're very, very lucky. Could happen. You got to try. You have to try to enjoy your life, because I promise you, once you consistently try to enjoy your life, you're going to enjoy your life. It is just a choice to look at things differently. It's a choice to open yourself up to feelings that maybe don't come super naturally to you, but you can make them natural. You can make it a habit. Like, God, I look back and I really was so sad. I really was so sad. And I have not been so sad in such a long time that it's almost shocking to me that we were even the same person. Like, it makes me feel like heavy in my heart and tear in my eyes because I know I'm the same girl. I'm the same woman. And I just had so much sadness because that's what I was choosing to have. It was the pattern. It was the habit that I was making over and over again. And now I know I'm a peaceful girl. I'm a pleasant girl. I'm a happy girl when I choose to be. I'm not a go with the flow girl. Don't ever ask me to do that. It's not going to happen. But life is good. Life is so good. And if you don't enjoy it now, you're going to miss it. Your 20s are going to go by. Your teens are going to go by. Your 30s are going to go by. And you're going to go, what happened? Where did it go? I wanted to do this. I wanted to feel that. And you can do all of it. You just need to wake up. You need to wake up. It is all a choice.